Looks like Bill's Volkswagen head came from the machine shop after I left yesterday. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jimmy. We're making it work. That's the Volkswagen getting the cylinder head. Bill's working on that one. Yesterday we left off on the Kia Sorento, I believe that's called, doing a evaporator core. We're going to finish that one up today. I'm guessing she really wants to have it back, so we're going to do our best to try to get it finished for her and get it finished for you in one video. If you're looking to see how your evaporator core gets done, we are going to show you. Got to take the seats and the dash and the carpeting and the wipers and stuff out of there. Not too bad. The way Kia and Hyundai do things, they're actually not hard to work on. A lot of brands are way more complicated than a Hyundai or a Kia. Even though taking the dash out isn't quick and easy, most of the way they do things, their engineers, seem to make sense to me when I work on them. And that's what really makes it a little easier to work on. If your brain doesn't go get when you're trying to figure out how they come up with something, at least mine. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn a thing or two, have some fun, try to get that Kia done, and maybe a couple other things too. Let's get in there and get started, get the shop open up. Stay tuned. Oh, you wanted to know the weather? Okay. It's about 45 degrees. I had to wear a sweatshirt, but I forgot to put my pants on. But no worries, it's gonna hit 75 for a high. Let's get this place open up. All right, first thing we're doing on this Kia today is got these heater hoses off. We're gonna get the coolant out of the heater core into the drip pan, hopefully. It might miss, but that's okay. That way when we pull the dash out, it'll make less of a mess. The whole HVAC box comes out bolted to the dash, and you separate it from the dash after it's all out. So we're gonna make sure this doesn't make a mess, even though the carpeting won't be in there when we pull it out. I just hate walking around in coolant. That should be good. We got to unbolt the expansion block, those two 10s. I'm going to undo the expansion block. We're going to hop inside. Not sure where that stuff, all this is under the seat. And we're emptying out the stuff under the seats a little bit so we can get the seats out of there. You got the carpeting splits, I think. I'm not sure. Man, this thing, 2021. My goodness gracious, what the heck? Poor car. Oh. Alright, I gotta put some gloves on. This is nasty. Not sure what this is. Just an old drink cup that rolled under there. I'm guessing they don't need it. I'm gonna try to clean up her car for her a little bit too. I think what I may do is get a blowgun and blowgun some of this stuff. Another drink cup under here. I'm not gonna bore you guys with too much of this. I'm just in shock as I'm pulling stuff out, but I got to clean out the console just to get the bolts and stuff to hold the console down. But there's some plastic panels. Most of this stuff you can pop off by hand and get the bolts and stuff to remove it. I got to take these A-pillar trim panels off. There's electrical connectors under the kick panels I got to get to, and then there's some bolts coming through here, 2 on each side, and then some HVAC bolts. A little at a time. I'm gonna get a blowgun and just blowgun some of this stuff out of here. Getting these seats out of the way, make other things a lot easier. 4 bolts on each seat. There's going to be electrical connectors underneath. I think I'm going to pop those A-pillar trims off where I get my hands dirty at all, because they're light gray. Let me catch you guys up. I've been playing with this A-pillar trim about 10 minutes. I thought it would pop right off like the instruction just says, remove it. But what you have to do is pull it out, get the visor out of the way, use a good Phillips screwdriver like this one, small one. I think this is, what is it, number 3 or something like that. Not really good at knowing how those numbers order, but there's 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah. It's basically medium small, I would say. And you take the Phillips screw out of the A-pillar trim. This piece, it's designed to be broken, and then they want you to buy a new one. But you can get to that screw, pull this assembly out of here, and this slides in like this. I think it was like that. Oh, it's like this. And then this slides in and locks it in place. And then the Phillips screw goes in here. Now when I reassemble it, I just push this in, snap it on, snap that in, plug in the speaker. I'm going to tighten this screw up, and I'll try to show you on the other side. I figured it out. I didn't want you to spend 20 minutes watching me fumble and sort it out, because they basically tell you to pry it out of the A-pillar, the metal, and then replace this because you break it. We're not doing that. I bet you it would take 3 days to get them anyway. Not really hard. It comes out. Now you can't get at that Phillips screw too easy. That's why you have to use a fairly small one. If you get any prints on this, I'm going to wipe it all down when I'm done. My hands aren't really dirty, but there's a little dust, and the dust gets on this gray stuff. You play with the screw about 5 minutes, and once you get the screw out of there, then you can pop that guard out and pop the piece under it out. When we come back, I'll show you. I'm using this to get it off instead of breaking it. Alright, the screw is out. I got to get that piece out. We gravity check it, it's okay, we'll be able to find it. Let's see what we can do with 2 hands. Takes 2 hands to handle a big one. Barely fits out. They don't want you to do it this way, obviously. They're like, hey man, that clip's only $38. What are you doing? I know. Now under here, this is still attached until I slide this up out of the trim. Speaker connector. Now I want to get this white plastic piece off, get it back in here assembled for later. Snap ring pliers in this little catch. There's 2 little teeth right here. I gotta open those up and it'll come off this little stop. All designed so when the airbag pops, it can come through that. But that catch has got to be, that plastic retainer's got to be strong so that this will split instead of coming off in your face. And you got to max this out too. It's no joke. Although it is pretty funny. Boom. This faces on there like that, so slides in. Slides in. And it'll go back together nice and easy. They were labeled right and left too, but obviously it's only going to go in one way. These go in the slots down at the bottom. See, it's unbolted. Just got to get that electrical connector under here. Let's take a look at that. Those 2 guys, yellow connectors, and then I can lift the seat out. Careful with door panels and stuff with the seat tracks. Gotta be really careful. Sometimes you can't avoid a little mark, but you have to try to be super careful with that stuff. Luckily this car is so tore up that it probably wouldn't matter, but I still don't want to make it worse. I want to give it back to the customer better than I got it. I'm going to try my best. Get some of these plastic trim pieces out of here, just so I feel better about the carpet not being held in. I got to take the gas pedal out and the console I mentioned earlier. We'll get to it. Put this back on this ridge because this can mess with your knee if you accidentally climb in the car and put your knee on it. So I kind of set this back in place. 2 10s for these guys, and his electrical connector too. Can't do it with one hand. My bad. Lack of professionalism on my part is atrocious. I got to get better at that one-hand skill stuff. I can't hardly do it with 2. What the heck? There it is. Huh. Alright. I got it in neutral just to make it easier to clear stuff. This panel supposedly snaps up out of there. Hopefully not literally. But we'll see. It's going to come off of there one way or another. I really should have put gloves on. Did I mention that already? It's nasty. But we'll be alright. We're going to live. Get some kind of trim stick. Try to ply this plastic all around here. There's about 10 or so snaps. Uh-oh. That's just trim. That's not the whole dealio. They want you to get that part out. What do you guys think? The front's kind of buried under the dash. Probably slides out. Oh, there you go. There you go. Just give it a good tug. It's pretty sad too. I feel bad, but my goodness gracious, I'm finding salt packets and lighters everywhere, so I put them back with the oxygen tanks. I guess that some habits, man, people just will die. They're just not gonna stop. It's kind of, I lost so many family members to lung cancer. Even Jim that used to own a shop, he had a lung transplant. And he stopped smoking like 15 years before his lungs failed. Anyway, and I see kids now, 20 something, smoking, vaping, like nobody knows any better. Kind of strange. I guess live and let live, and if it makes you happy, just, you know, you're shortening your life and you're gonna die a horrifying death, slow withering death. You do what you want, I guess. I don't understand it. They used to have shift lock problems and stuff. If you spill things in the shifter area, it'll get to where it doesn't come out of park and stuff eventually, and you got to replace the shifter and modules and stuff. You gotta be real careful with your soda and coffee and things. This tray's got to come out here, some Phillips. I think I could pull that out and get to some more connectors. The back bolts are out, although I left them in their respective holes. I think I have to unbolt this. Shifter stays in the car, I believe. Anybody know what that is? I don't know. Nutella. Some form of bolt up there. I'm not sure. That must hold the console. Yeah, this metal bar looks like it crosses, so that 10's got to come out. So that little bolt up there didn't have anything to do with it. I think that just holds the HVAC case to the dash, because this metal bar wasn't attached like I thought it was. But Phillips screw, couple Phillips screws, 2 10s, and the console's about ready to come out. I got to disconnect this connector.
That's one of them. And I'm waiting on one more. Yeah.
All right, we're getting close. We got to get the carpet back now because there's that duct, but there's also a duct under here, and it runs right there and it kind of traps everything. That's the whole reason for taking the seats and console out. It's pretty common, really, but and the carpeting is like got plastic and stuff in it, so it molds good, but it'll go. Just gotta find a good place to pull from, get the Velcro off of it. Kind of carpet is one piece too. I thought it was a lot of cars it separates, but this one doesn't. Now instead of taking the carpet back further and getting this piece off, what I did on the other side is I pried this off the stud and then kind of twisted it out. It'll be fun to get it back, but it's out for now. Electrical connectors, the sides, both sides of the dash have main bulkhead connectors, which is nice. There you go. Plastic caps. These little plastic caps got to come out. I think there's 14s under there. Try not to scratch the paint. You have two hands. You can lift it like very gently from the corner. Looks like 12s. Really hard to tell, but it's kind of shiny at an angle. Maybe it's my vision, I don't know. I know one thing, it's either a 12 or a 14, we'll figure it out. Now cars where I can leave the carpeting in place, I usually set all my hardware right where I'm working. But because I got to peel the carpet back, I don't want to forget any screw and put carpeting over it. And so I've got my magnetic tray set up in back for all my hardware and small plastic parts. And they'll kind of be in order. Kind of, this looks chaotic, but it's actually all kind of, as I take it out, it gets stacked further higher. Kind of put it back in about the same order, depending on how I'm feeling when it goes back together. So I'm getting really close. There's a couple more electrical connectors. I got to take that green connector apart. That's going to like a satellite antenna or something like that. I got to take the connector out of the airbag module, which is the blue one. Anything going up to the dash is either got to be loose or easily accessible while you're trying to get the dash out, because you'll have to take it off if you missed it. These bolts on the case help hold the dash, just like 2 on each side. The 3 I did out in the engine compartment. Now these bolts I can leave here because these are going back in place before the carpeting, and they're big. Not like all those little Phillips screws and stuff. I'm going to leave the 2 bolts on each side for last. Make sure everything's discombobulated first. They want you to take the steering column apart and all that too. I think just to make it less to carry out of the car. You might be able to, because all these bulkhead connectors should wire in the steering column, you would think. So if I disconnect the shaft, I might be able to leave it on. I'm guessing they want you to take the steering column apart just to make it a little less awkward to carry it out of the car. Alright, seemed a little hectic up front. I was wondering what was going on. Jose's apparently on vacation, he's getting married. I didn't know. So Frankie's running that front desk by himself. Be prepared for chaos. Not that Frankie's not capable, but he's when you're by yourself, that's not. They really need 3 people up there. 2 people aren't enough. Nobody, there's a lot of times, honestly, let's have a second. There's times when Frankie doesn't take lunch all day because he's too busy. That's not right. Katie and Rob never missed a lunch, and we did pretty good in the shop. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I told them, you take lunch. Whatever happens, happens. You get your lunch. Anyway, we're gonna pop these clips in here. There's a little tab you push, and it lets the airbag out. Not sure if There it is. Now the airbag is discombobulated. So I got to complete the discombobilation. And I got to take the steering wheel off. I am going to take it off because apparently it makes it far more awkward if you try to leave it on. I got to take some wiring and stuff, take this airbag module out from under it, set the steering column down. That way the wheel won't get damaged. It's going to be a lot easier taking it out of the car. I decided to, executive decision. No damage to the $600 or whatever this might cost steering wheel. You got to push these two little orange tabs on each side up at the same time as you pull it out. So you certainly can't hold the camera. You probably should have 3 hands. It says replace that bolt too, but we'll just put a little Loctite on it. Pull that connector off, unwind some of the wire, and that should come off of there. Like that. I'm gonna leave it right there. Get the steering column shroud off and we can pull the wiring out of that. I also got to take the wiring out of this fuse panel. The fuse panel stays with the dash when it comes out. My hand's getting weaker, the connector's getting stronger. Maybe a little of both. Back in the day, I could rock them connectors without a problem. Yeah, that one came out. Just the leverage ones would give me a hard time. And then kind of tuck these wires out of my way a little bit. This is going to probably go out with the car. With the dash, I mean. We got another bolt hidden back here. Don't miss that one. Man, this dash is bolted in 2 bolts here and 2 bolts here. Take this upper cover off. Get these 2 hidden screws. They're smart. They used to leave the screw right here and you could turn the wheel to get them out. Now they hit them. They're like, nope, we want you taking the steering wheel off so you can buy a bolt. I mean, put Loctite on a bolt. Now, disconnect the wiring so that I can lay the column on the floor, and we should be good. The brake pedal stays in the car, so it's okay if the steering shaft lays over the brake pedal. Well, I'll tell you what, me and Danny carried it out of the car, and I walked across the console and everything here and put it on the seats because we don't have anything to set it on. And the dash doesn't have anything sharp to hurt the seats, and the seats are nice and cushiony for the dash. Everybody wins. So we got so many big jobs going that all the work tables are taken. So you make do what you got. You make it work, baby. Now I got to start disassembling the AC box. We're not done yet. And I don't even think you can just take it apart from here and take the evaporator out. I'm going to try. But I don't think that's what they want you to do. They show you taking all the wiring and pulling this off the dash. So, you might have to, but I'm going to try taking these Phillips screws out and some little things like that, see if I can lift this off and access that. This is just a blower case. This is what we're focused on. Oh, the drain tube have to pop off too. So, let's get a Phillips. I got a work tray. Ooh, magnetism. Are you kidding me? I don't know. Don't get too happy yet. Don't be too positive. Be realistic. Be realistically positive. want you to separate them before to let you know. We're so close. These flies, they like the smell of this car. Take note of where that was pushed in. Let's go see if the new evaporator's here. Right from Kia. Should be right. You would hope. Don't make any promises, but look at that son of a gun. Like Rob would say, would you just look at it? Comes with O-rings and everything. Wow. That's awesome. Doesn't come with oil in it though. I've got about an ounce of oil in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil in it. We'll start putting this thing back together. You guys might need to be able to see because of the glare, huh? Rookie video content creator. Alright, now I got my rubber biscuit. Half of it's down here, half is going to go on top. Put it right there. Gotta get my evap temp sensor in here in the same spot. It pushes into the fins. Doesn't hurt anything. It goes, the tubes that carry the refrigerant are here, and these are heat sinks in between. So that'll be good to go. When you push this in, this thing better be in the right spot because this gear turns right inside it. This sits right there. Interesting contraption, I'll tell you. Now I can put this on. And hopefully we can get the lid back on like it came off. I mean, you know, we should be able to. This is what kind of traps it and makes you want to take the whole box apart. These channels, everything's got to go down into, so it might take a few tries. We'll get it. There's also guide pins that you have to contend with. A couple more. Now all of these little plastic channels have to be caught and lined up correctly so everything sits flat. I got about 10 minutes into making sure they're all seated before I tighten any screws. Last little bit of goodness. Almost as delicious as Mama's cooking. You know what I'm saying, Frankie?
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what this? I would say yeah, but I don't know what this two is. I don't know what it is. I had a core. Let me get my thoughts together.
You remain guarded.
Oh man.
When's Jose coming back?
Next week, Monday. In the week. Oh, in the week.
Not this coming Monday.
The
A
following.
week.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh yeah. Let's see what you can do, baby. Hopefully your head doesn't explode at some point.
If it does,
Get guts everywhere.
If you see me just laying on the floor, just know that's exactly what happened.
Bleeding from your ears, eyes, and nose. Start getting this heater core stuff back in. We got covered for that. Screws for it. I think I got the right amount of screws left, hopefully. We'll know pretty quick. If I have one left, I missed one. And I'll have to find out where, because I couldn't live with myself. I stuck it back in without the screw. Look at the arms on this thing. That's very funny. That's crazy. I should get a shorter Phillips, but this just barely fits in here. There must be for an optional heater core if it has a larger one, or dual heater cores or something like that. I don't know. This goes on. That. Third screw, where are you? Oh my goodness. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find it. Oh, here it is. Knew it. I took it out for nothing, so it didn't make sense it would be all the way down there.
I'm in.
You like Flynn. Make sure my wires are
Nice.
Wait, give me a little, give me one more. I didn't think I had to lift that end up so much. You can pull the rubber out of the way if you need to. And then,
Kind of like get it.
something buttoned me a little bit, which is what it did coming out. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, that's out over here. I think the heater core tubes probably, I'd have to pull them up from the engine compartment. I'm going to take this out. Doesn't mention in the instruction, but maybe I can just loosen it. The heater core tubes don't want to line up perfectly with it. Put in my airbag, my connector, plugged in my fuse panel, got my dash bolts all bolted in. There's 4 on each side, 3 on the bottom of the case, the 2 at the brace. Steering column has the 14mm long bolt at the base, 2 12s at the top. That's all tight. Next is these 3 screws are the only different ones. These hold the steering column shroud on, so we're gonna put that in next. Uh-oh. It's gonna go smooth and easy without any problems. Smooth and easy. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Don't worry, I'll edit that out. When I get done, I'm gonna look like a genius. You were in my way, that's what it was. You need to move your head a little to the right. Appreciate that. Alright. The 2 at the top. Checking gravity in the car, man. That is still working. I like how they changed that so you have to take the steering wheel off. I guess you could just pry this out of the way, turn the steering wheel and get to that, but it's just not like the steering wheel is hard to get off anyway. It's something you want to avoid if you can. Clock spring straight up. Let's lock this in place. What else we got? I plugged in my airbag module, the connector from the console harness. This goes up to the console. I think it's about time for me to get a break and get some lunch. I'm gonna wait on the steering wheel so it's out of my way while I put a lot of other stuff in. We'll lay the carpeting and all that. I could do the duct real quick before I go eat. I gotta go see if Frankie needs some lunch too, man. That guy goes without lunch all the time. Like I mentioned earlier, it just seems a little silly to me, but he says he doesn't mind because he's a team player. I said, well, when you're on a team, they let you eat lunch. But I like his optimism though. This seems like it's harder to get on than the top one will be. And all these little ducts have to be lined up just so. And then all of a sudden, it's done. Alright, I got my heater hoses on, my expansion block back on. I'm gonna get this thing vacuumed down so we can finish buttoning this stuff up. And this machine will take a minute to find itself. So we'll go ahead and snug the rest of these main dash bolts up. I don't want to hook the battery up just yet. Until I get the rest of my electronics plugged up. Alright, my Phillips screws are in my lower panel. 1, 2, 3. Side cover. All my dash bolts are tight. So this should just snap into place. Guard that goes on the rocker panel too. Gotta put the gas pedal in. We got a few things to do. Try to get this done today without rushing too crazy. Because I'd rather do it once than do it fast twice. Kind of strange, it has a straight clip and a clip this way at the same time, but it's pretty flexible, so I guess it works. On top of the wounds I've gotten today. Where's it? Oh, look, I got a little wound. I'll be alright. Don't you worry about it. That's why we make the big bucks, us mechanics. Make sure this is all in place so we don't get whistly noises. Oh, I got my gas pedal right here. That's handy. Electrical plug. Otherwise, it ain't going anywhere. This is like a gas pedal to a PS3, but it works. And a nut and a bolt for that. I'm gonna find those. 10mm. And there's a plastic cap that goes on the bottom. It shows one for the top too, but I got a feeling this isn't the first evaporator cord this car has had. Because I noticed a couple of bolts missing, a couple of caps missing. I found bolts out of my toolbox to replace some of the missing ones. Nothing big, just a couple little things. It might have come from the factory and they weren't in there to begin with, I don't know. I just know that I had them around, so I put some on. Handle for the parking brake goes on here too. This just snaps in place. Make sure if it's a direction or not. I think this notch sits down here. Hood release, what that is. Get this duct in here. Try to remember how all this goes, but I think these are going to go like that. Pushes down there. This is a USB plug for the front and another plug for the front. I think these go to the panel above. Evaluate. I got two connectors back here and only one in the console. Might go on the shifter somewhere. I'll figure that out and we'll come back. Okay, the one with the lever. The one with the lever is going to go here, I believe. Or like this, however it goes. That's how it goes. And this one goes to the back of the console. So we're going to be alright. I got to get all the salt and the lighters back in the console when we're done. You are definitely not getting that in place with it in park. It's going to go up top. This is going to go here. It's a little early, but it's alright. Now this goes into a cutout in the dash. Need to find the slots this goes in and slide it forward about an inch, it looks like. Inch and a half. Listen, man. What you guys pulling over here? Huh. It's catching something, I guess. Oh, you know what it's doing? It's letting me know I forgot to put the duct back in. I was looking at my wiring and I took the duct out and I didn't put it back. You guys are probably yelling, "What are you doing, dummy? You're forgetting your duct." Do. Oh, it looks awkward. It's not. Don't worry. I don't want to take the console back out. It's just my style. I'd rather teach myself a lesson by forcing myself to struggle with it. Next time I won't forget. This goes on the push pin things. There it is. That's over there. Now, where was I? Holy moly, man. I bet you I'm supposed to take those Phillips screws out of that piece. Let's do that. There's a cross piece in here, I think is... It let me take it out with it in there. It doesn't seem happy about the whole thing at all. Let's do that. See if that helps. Am I trying to put it up? Yeah, I'm trying to go too high in the hole that's made for the upper piece. It's my fault. 2021 Kia Sorento on its second evaporator. Actually, I would have guessed third. Someone at least did some dash work. I don't know if it was in an accident or something. We got these two screws. Quite a few Phillips screws to do. Cross brace I just took out among them. Silver screws go into cross braces and black screws everywhere else. Shifter plate just snaps on. This goes in first. There's some Phillips screws in it. I hope it goes in first. It's gonna look awful silly otherwise. There it is. I got 3 screws left, so 1, 2. I already did the one in the shifter, and there's another one back here. Now, that's all looking good. I got 1 connector left. Everything else is in. USB is in. Whatever the schmutz is in. Nutella all over the place. Actually was going to clean that off with something, but I forgot. It is what it is. I'm not touching it again. Got electrical connector for that. Lever snaps in place. These are all just snap into. Now this goes in the top slot that I was trying to put the console in for about 10 minutes. I hope. Snaps on with no tools. Pretty hard to get it to break loose though. I had to give it quite the old oomph. The boot comes out a lot easier. It doesn't look like it would, but it does. Put that in park. If you have to release it, you can take this cover off, push the little emergency release. For when the shift lock doesn't work, it's no battery. That'll mechanically disable it. You can get it out of park if you ever get past it and forgot it like I did. I mean, like some people might do. Got the old floor for the console. I think that's the way it faces. If it doesn't, we'll turn it. Since there's a slight taper notch in the back. That was my faux pas. AKA boo-boo. Get these electrical plugs in. We do not Won't have to take this back apart. You saw how it's a little fun. Goes to the speaker. These go down the slots on the dash. I hope. Give it a little love. Give it a little dance. Get down tonight. There it is, I think. Rubber trim. The old days they glued that on. Then they got a little smarter and they realized you could put some spring steel inside the rubber. And it just would hold itself on. You don't have to glue it. That way you can take it off and put it back on instead of destroying it when you have to do an evaporator. Because old cars you didn't have to do that much for an evaporator though. So it's a trade-off. Seat bolts. Uh-oh, that latch closed. Not yet. These have guide pins. I'll show you on the other seat. Get in the right spot, the seat just goes gook. Let's go get that seat and we'll be done inside here. I know, I'm trying to get it done. You don't have to send the police. One of them moved. That's a bummer. Should have filmed the other one for you because it went right in. So this one, when I tried to move the seat, I grabbed the manual seat holder and messed it up. That's all right. I'll fix it. Figure out how it goes. There it is. Hole there. Now, since the seat track moved, I got to put a bolt in here to hold the one track and try to get the other one to cooperate. Can't tighten it because it won't let the other one move then. There it is. It lets you know when you're in the right spot. Two back bolts, steering wheel. Man, then all this car will be lacking is wipers. Listen here, man. You're about to be done. You got to line up these marks on the steering wheel. Jello and red, or rojo, however you want to say it. I just need to pop an airbag on here. We're gonna get out under that hood, hook up the battery, throw some wipers on. Nice. Little airbag, guys. This should, theoretically, snap in place. Connected and where it goes. I'll have to take it back off. Beep, 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 beep. Where did I put my electrical connector? There it is. So it must go this way. Little nipple goes in the hole. Two of these guys. Need the extension, I guess. Plastic panel over here. Man, this car, I don't know what the heck's going on. Someone just beat the hell out of a herd of skunks on that thing. There's also a washer fluid line and a stick. And we get some push pins along here. I think this has a little snap or a little ridge that it needs to go into. There it is. I think something like that. We'll get some wiper arms on there next. off the freaking wiper on. Holy moly, man. I didn't do it. Put these wipers on, didn't have to snap on all over. It's fixed. This one. Nope. There you go. That's crazy. But you do have to look for the little tiny catches and things to be. They have to be in place. Oh, my leak check's done. Was this test performed? Yep. Free of leaks? Yeah. Does it have an auxiliary evaporator? No. Now it'll give me the rest of my refrigerator while I snug these up. Can't play ball without a cap on. Hopefully there's no explosions. I'll fire this thing up in a minute. Alright, disconnect high side hose. Check. Start AC on max. Okay. I ran out of parts. One screw and one nut out of my toolbox. You guys seen the keys? Oh, there they are. Wipers. Something's happening. I'll put this window up. Air's working. Oops, rear wipers are on too. What the heck? Air's nice and chilly. Oh, no it's not. Now it's open. I don't like to mess with people's vents too much. They like it pointing a certain way. Some people want them right on them, right in their face. I like them going to the sides at my shoulders. I like cool air without the air blasting me in the face. Some people love it in the face, man. I don't. So, I'm gonna give this thing a minute. We should be good to go. We got this thing done. I rushed it a little bit, but not really bad. I'll tell you one thing, I'll be able to do it quite a bit faster next time. I still broke 50 hours this week, even though I worked on this all day and it's not gonna go. All right, guys, we're all set for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, spending a day with me. If you want to do an evaporator core in your Kia Sorento, hope some of these tips helped you out. The day in a shop video is going to be a Kia Sorento video today. So thanks for watching. Torque the like button before you head out. I really appreciate that. Leave a comment. More than anything, though, I hope I see you in another video because you're awesome.